Some approach life with great regrets when things go wrong. I'm lucky to live in Costa Rica, where challenges and problems seem to disappear with the tides. Growing up in Texas, our family faced tragic times. Our brother Craig died in Vietnam in 1967. With the war raging, Kent was selected to West Point in 1970, where he forged incredible friendships. Both of my brothers followed our father's military service. My father flew several missions in the B-24 during World War II. In 2016, Kent was diagnosed with LBD, Lewy Body Dementia. It is certain death. There is no cure at this time. Kent was a free spirit, sharing his personality with everyone, composed music and poetry, played rugby from West Point to California, taught in the California School District, having retired in the California School District, rode his beloved BMW motorcycle all across America, then fought his most challenging battle, Lewy Body Dementia. This is Kent's journey to never give up hope.
As the air rushes into your face, fly down the highways with eyes pulled wide open, go with kind spirits of grace. Glide on the breeze to another dimension, hold your flag flying light in the light. Feel the release of the old useless tension. Spirit will always survive.
Meet Kent and Hal Hendricks, known to many as Kent Hendricks, a 1970 graduate of Garland High School in Texas, a dedicated member of the Garland Owl football team, born into a proud military family. His dad, Tatum Hendricks, served in World War II in Europe as a side gunner, making 99 missions as crew member of a B-24 bomber and earning the Distinguished Flying Cross. Kent's brother Craig lost his life during Vietnam War in April 1967. The loss of Craig was felt across our community and in our schools in Garland. It was a difficult tragedy for everyone to accept. The Hendricks family also includes a sister, Cheryl, who is a retired lieutenant colonel, and Lisa Hendricks, another sister, has been instrumental in producing this film on her brother's journey. Kent and his family were members of the First United Methodist Church, and while social media would not come along for 3 more decades, Kent and his siblings were popular leaders of high school organizations, courageous and attractive youngsters.
Kent was an unconventional leader. I say that because he did things that was unconventional, but he would stretch the boundaries for the people around him and take you to places you didn't know you could go. And I'm sure he did that with his students. He broadened their horizons and made us all feel comfortable with places and things that were beyond our normal experience.
In 1970, Kent was nominated by Texas U.S. Congressman Jim Collins to attend West Point Military Academy, located on the banks of the Hudson River, north of New York City. He entered in the fall of 1970. At West Point, Kent would become a member of Company A1. Some called Kent the company minstrel, strumming his guitar through 4 years at West Point. In off time, Kent was seldom seen that he did not have his acoustic guitar in hand, playing Texas country favorites or rock and roll music from the 60s and 70s like the Byrds or Steppenwolf.
Never one to allow academics to come in the way of a good time, Kent's humor pulled many of us out of the depths of gloom periods and area tours. One 1972 dinner in the West Point mess hall Mark was sitting at a table with a Rhodes Scholar, Army captain, an English professor of ours, and his Oxford roommate, Chris Christopherson, another good Texan who was, along with Delaney and Bonnie and Friends band, entertaining the Corps of Cadets that weekend. Kent engaged Chris in a discussion of the new wave of country music, impressing all, and Chris said Kent looked like Steve McQueen's stunt double. Kent avoided getting demerits in punishment tours as a rule, but did get caught dressed in blue jeans delivering a case of Coors, following an away Air Force game, to our Texan tactical officers' quarters, an ironic event that hardened his view of dress codes. He was not cited for escorting the alcohol on post, but for wearing the Levi's. To ease the time he spent in confinement, Kent picked up the Bible and read it cover to cover. A true wordsmith, he was a lover of all books, a hobby that he pursued his entire life.
Kent also played rugby at West Point, became the coach of the boxing team, coaching 4 A1 boxers. All of us who knew Kent back in Garland and who were now off having our own college experiences kept up with Kent. After all, Kent, myself, and our friend David Mitchell had spent our entire life together back in Garland, almost never parting. Spent summers having fun since our days as students at Sam Houston Junior High School. It is amazing, looking back at our school photos, the youthfulness glowing in our faces, not realizing that one day an unexpected early death would take one of us. Sure, the Vietnam War was raging, and we lost Kent's brother Craig when we were in the 9th grade. But Craig's loss was in a way a tragic, calculated risk of war, and certainly heart-wrenching to everyone in the Dallas suburb of Garland, Texas. But we never thought it would be Kent one day. And the possibility of a horrific disease like Lewy Body disease, we and most of the world didn't even know what it was, had never heard of it. Even in 2017, all of us had to search the internet just to find out what it meant, what the letters stood for. If any of us were to pass away early in life, it would not be Kent. Strong, maybe even fierce, afraid of nothing, a popular 26-year-old teacher near Los Angeles, teaching alternative school students, riding his BMW motorcycle up and down the Pacific coast, crisscrossing the United States, reading any one of 1,000 classic books he collected, listening to thousands of recorded albums, lyrics about surviving the hard life in rock and roll, and the soft, beautiful lines of poetry and reflective philosophy in Kent's original holiday greeting cards. Every year at Christmas, encouraged us all to survive and believe in what we might call the beauty of life.
Kent was a high school teacher in Victorville, California for several years. And the last couple of years, he taught what we called last chance students that were difficult, had a difficult life. And the goal was to get the education for the children or the kids and make sure they graduated. It was a pretty tough job because a lot of these kids came from broken families, and you can imagine. Kent never gave up on the kids. He always found the good and always tried to teach them life lessons of how important education is. He would use examples of books, music, to relate to life and life experiences. He taught math. He was a brilliant mathematician and was able to get to these kids how important math was and to teach them in ways that they could understand how important math is.
But Lewy body disease snuck up on them, unaware as Kent slowly lost his creative brilliance. His balance and movement became shaky. He had terrifying hallucinations and was greatly depressed.
What Kenny taught me is that you got to be a bit more tolerant than you want to be, because he was a pretty accepting guy. Now there's some things that I know would get under him, but he's pretty even keeled most of the time. Me, I'm a little more volatile. I'm more what you see is what you get.
Hello, I'm Bill Chadwick. For over 50 years, a group of us from the West Point class of 1974 have maintained contact and a friendship that began when we were 18 and 19-year-olds. Kent Hendricks was right there in the middle of it all, with a lot of laughs, funny stories, words of solace, a song and great music. He'd call me on the phone, Billy C., catching me wherever I was posted, telling me about one or another of our classmates. He was a great connector, riding the country, particularly on his motorcycle along the West Coast. He was a pleasure to be around, always looking for fun, and he had a broad and inventive way of coming up with ideas about what was going to be like for all the rest of us through our lives.
Kent Hendricks wrote everyone he knew amazing and informative letters throughout his life. These include specially written and crafted Christmas cards, letters from faraway places, often written to express his love for others and sometimes his fear, and frequently his need to just celebrate life enthusiastically. The following letter was written to Dave Elliott, West Point friend from the 1970s and lifelong motorcycle buddy. Kent wrote Dave while traveling north on California's historical Highway 1, while headed to spend a few days with David Mitchell in Eugene, Oregon, on October 27, 1998. Dave narrates Kent's remarkable personal encounter with a Pacific Ocean sunset.
Found myself rushing to get to British Columbia. Caught myself slowed down. Came down the Oregon coast from Astoria to Coos Bay instead. There was no rushing anywhere. Caught a nonpareil sunset south of Astoria about 19-30 hours. I kept admiring it over my right shoulder and keeping an eye on the curves of the coastal highway. Finally I said, heck with it. I'm not going to miss this show. So I pulled over, parked my bike on the shoulder, walked down to the beach, took off my helmet, kicked back, and leaned on a large driftwood log. A couple of beachcombers were about a click away. In total awe, I observed the revolution of the earth against the glamorous horizon, the Pacific Ocean, bringing the curtains down on the greatest show on earth. I got up and gave a standing ovation. Signed, Cosmo.
Kent wasn't satisfied with normal or the everyday answers that you find, and he taught me to look above and beyond and to look mostly inward for your truth.
One thing I'd like to talk about is how difficult it is. It's difficult because you're with the person you love, and it's heart-crushing to see the deterioration of their body and their mind, their balance, and you need to prepare yourself for this. And you never give up the love. And I was out there visiting Kent one particular time, and his best friend, Vic Vicini, West Point grad with him, and he told me, Carter, you get to a point where you need help, you call me and I'll be there. And I was been there for a few days, and it was a particularly trying 3 days, and I was at my rope's end. I called Vic up and told him, I said, Vic, please come, I need your support. He lived in Phoenix, Arizona. We're in Victorville. He was there the next day. I couldn't have done it without him. And one of the beautiful things, and you have to remember this, let the person be the person. Kent was always up for a party, a few beers, talking about old times, and his memory was just incredible at times, and at other times he was bewildered. And, at that point, we were going to have a get-together sitting around with Vic. That was Kent's best friend. And we had a few beers, and we were laughing and talking. They were talking about old times and everything. And it was going great. And then all of a sudden, Kent looked at me. He goes, I know we're having a good time here, but who are you? Fortunately, I'd read up on this situation, and I looked at him. I said, well, I'm Carter. We met earlier. And he goes, well, great. It's nice to have you here. Then, 10 minutes later, he knew who I was. But at that point, he didn't have a clue who I was.
The pills right here. You got to finish these.
I see.
You got to finish them. Here, they're right there on that little plastic tray. You see them? Here, Kent. You gotta take that one here. Can you get another one? Here's the other one. Here. Here you go. Let me just take it. There you go. You ready for one more?
One more.
Okay, here. You go in.
I can only speak for myself.
Okay, you got two more. There's one more. Ready? And you got one more, and that's all for tonight. Here you go. You try to grab it.
In 2013, Kent's mother, Gloria J. Hendricks, passed away, leaving a collection of poems she loved, including this gem. Life's clock. The clock of life is wound but once, and no one has the power to tell when the hands will stop at late or early hour. Live, love, toil with a will, place no faith in tomorrow, for the clock may then be still.
Please help us find a treatment or cure for this terrible disease, Lewy Body Dementia. I hope this presentation will help people better understand Lewy Body Dementia. If you know someone who may be suffering Lewy Body Dementia, please help them contact the following Lewy Body Dementia organizations. And thanks to the Kent Hendricks family and many friends who miss this remarkable person. I'm Harry Norris. Thanks for watching.
The river flows, it flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, flow. Let your waters wash down, take me from this road to some other town. All they wanted was to be free, and that's the way it turned out to be. Flow, river, flow. Let your waters wash down, take me from this road to some other town. Go, river, go down, take me from this road to some other town. Go, river, go to the sea. Flow, river, flow, past the shady tree. Flow to the sea. The river flows, it flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, flow. Let your waters wash down, take me from this road to some other town.
Electrical storm is on the rise. An electrical storm is on the rise. We must say goodbye. What if gods and heroes faded away? What if gods and heroes faded away? What if we all refuse to play? What if the sun refused to shine? What if the sun refused to shine? What if we all refused our minds? Philosophy is best left on the shelf. Philosophy is best left on the shelf. Hey, say hello to yourself. What if the rains refuse to cry? What if the rains refuse to cry? What if we all refuse to die? An electrical storm is on the rise. An electrical storm is on the rise. And we must say